Hi, my name's Paul. I'm the head coach at North Endurance Triathlon and Run Coaching. And today I want to talk to you about time trialing. Time trialing is a race against a clock. It's quite historic in the UK. Initially, when sort of cycle racing was banned on the roads, time trialing became like underground events, and were often people competing in secrecy. So they decided to let cyclists off one at a time, so people didn't realise and thought the cyclists were going about their normal business. Today, we compete against over set distances. So you'll usually see 10, 25 or 50 mile time trials, and this is where they get quite specific or helpful in triathlon training, in the fact that a 25 mile time trial is similar to a Olympic distance cycling leg, and a 50 mile time trial is similar to the bike leg of a middle distance triathlon. You do get time trials that are longer, so there's usually a couple of 100 milers throughout the year, and there's also races against a clock where riders are actually competing to cover the most distance over 12 hours or 24 hours. Time trials take place on public roads, so they're usually either an out and back course, or it'll be a loop, and you'll have marshals on roundabouts or junctions just to warn you of traffic. To take part in a cycling time trial, you need to be a CTT member. You just register on the website, and you need to be a member of a CTT affiliated club, which North Endurance are. I'll show you how to register now and find events on the CTT website. So the first thing you want to do is put cycling time trials into Google, and you'll find their website. You're going to register yourself today. And as you can see, I'm already logged in, and this is my profile, and you'll see how many events we've got coming up, historic results and personal bests. The CTT website is quite good, controls all the event entries, and like I said, you've got all this historic information available, personal best, clubs, etc. So to enter an event, we're just going to click on the events tab, go to events, and here you can see how we can start to filter and find events. So first things first, you can search by date, and next is district. So for North Endurance, we're generally in the Liverpool district, but if as a CTT member, you can enter events throughout the country. So I'm going to look in Liverpool. Here we can choose the distances. So I'll look for a 25 mile on this occasion. And then I'm going to look for solo events. You can also choose here TTTs, which is team time trials, when it's usually a 2 up, a 3 up or a 4 up event. And at the very bottom, we can search for a particular category. So I'm in the senior category. If you're over 40, you'd be a veteran. So here we go, we filtered it down, and we can see lots of events taking place. To view the course, you'll see that these courses have got a code number that refers to this sort of the quite historic relevance going back to the secret sort of codes. If you click on and enter, so let's have a look at this one. Takes us to the web page, and we can see the course. In Liverpool, a lot of our events actually take place down towards Shropshire, near Whitchurch. So here we can see the course, we can see the course profile, and we can choose how to enter. Once you enter, you just submit all your details, you submit your expected finish time, and the entry will be sent to the organizer. Typically, time trials take place on a Sunday morning when roads are quiet, starting early, but you can also find events on bank holidays, midweek evenings, and sometimes Saturdays as well. Entries usually close 2 weeks prior to the date of the race, and you'll get notified of your entry being accepted, and you'll also be given a start time, and this is really important. So every single rider is set off one at a time individually. The races are known as the race of truth because there's no draft benefit. It's you against the clock over the course. Prior to the race, you'll usually get an email from the organizer giving you specific instructions about the HQ and where the actual start point is, which is usually in a lay-by on the side of an A road. You need to make sure you register at least 15 minutes before your start time, and sometimes you have to cycle for 1, 2, 3, 4 miles to actually get to the start point. On registration, you'll sign in, you'll put your name down next to your number. The number will be a number that you pin to your back for identification by like race marshals. You then need to make sure you get to the start and have warmed up for your start time. If you miss your start time, you will be disqualified. So while you may be allowed to ride, your time will not count. So why are time trials suitable for triathletes? Well, One, it's great training to train your pain threshold in terms of how fast can you ride the bike leg or a set distance. Most courses are relatively flat, so they require a sustainable output throughout, and that's more like a triathlon bike leg. Two, we can do them in season, so once we've done some hard work through the winter, we can practice the bike leg of the length of the race we're trying to compete in. Number three, they're cheap and we can do a run off. So they're perfect for a brick session. So you get to feel what it's like to run having done a sustained effort over multiple hours. Four, it's a great way of fueling or practicing fueling under stress. So while we can always fuel on our long rides at the weekends, this isn't often at the same intensity or maybe not even on the same bike in the same position as we're going to race in. By competing in time trials, you can practice your fueling strategy. How easy is it to hydrate? Can you reach your bottle? Can you get to your snacks? Are they easily digestible? Can you breathe while you're chewing and still maintaining a hard effort? Number five, race equipment. Biking time trials are a great opportunity to practice riding your race bike in anger. So if you don't take your time trial bike outside regularly, you can ride it in a time trial against the clock, nice and hard on quiet roads. This means you get used to riding in the position, you get used to riding, maybe using the same helmet, even your triathlon race suit. You can ride a road bike or you can ride a triathlon bike. We obviously recommend you wear a helmet and practice using your race day equipment. The only rules when it comes to clothing is you can't have your shoulders on show. So if you are in a tri suit, you should wear a t-shirt or a jersey or a base layer underneath. There's lots to be learned for triathletes from time trials. Firstly, there's the equipment. There's getting an aerodynamic advantage through your bike position and your equipment choices. But then there's also practicing the laser focus that's required to ride in anger for a certain amount of time. To hold a time trial position uses different muscles. So holding those positions, you can check your comfort levels and feel, how am I going to feel running after 2 hours in the time trial position over a middle distance bike leg? Or how would I feel, or how would it feel potentially to ride in that position for 6 hours plus over an Ironman bike leg? Otherwise, that's it. Time trials are cheap, they're specific, and they'll certainly test your focus and your threshold. So why not give it a go?